This is the Uptick Newswire Stock Day podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com and Equities.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube to stay up to date on penny stock news and interviews, public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world. With your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, I'm bringing back a returning guest. They were on the show back in September this year. We're talking about Players Network. And you can find them on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol PNTV. And with us today, we got a very special guest from the company, the CEO, the one and only Mr. Mark Bradley. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You know, every time I turn around, you're always doing something great for this company. Last time I saw you was out in Argentina. What makes setting up the cultivation facility in Argentina different than setting one up here in the U.S.?
Well, I should kind of answer what isn't different. Look at the U.S. market is saturated. It's overregulated. There's too many bureaucrats. They want to overtax you before you can even make a dime. In Argentina, the weather is beautiful. It's great growing conditions. The government wants jobs. They want people to be put to work. They don't want these big barriers of entry to start an industry. It's just an amazing opportunity for us. Our partnerships with the government, they've granted us all of our license to import seeds and genetics and to export oils and flour. We can bring in CBD products to the United States. We can bring in THC products to Canada and any other legal jurisdiction, and we can produce the products at a fraction of the price that it costs us to produce in the U.S. So that's the basis of it.
Economic advantages. Does this have any for the company?
Yeah. I look at the average. The average person makes $22 a day in Argentina.
Wow.
And they're an agricultural friendly country. They're used to growing tobacco and sugarcane. Hemp and cannabis is not that much different. So, yeah, there's economic advantages, absolutely, but just the ability to operate a business without spending 50 or 60% of your time dealing with compliance, just to be able to get into business and generate capital is a wonderful thing.
You know, I was looking at one of your press releases with a video attachment, and correct me if I'm wrong about this. Medical marijuana is okay in Argentina. Recreational is not. That being said, what is your game plan to monetize that? And what I saw, you're growing on 24,000 acres. Are you going to bring that back over to the United States and sell that through your distributions and your platforms there in Las Vegas?
Yeah, well, let me clarify it. Medical is not legal. What is legal is research and
that's right. You're right.
Cannabis products we issue to hospitals for epilepsy. We're working with the government right now to create a medical marijuana initiative. So, we're right now where the United States was about 8 years ago in Argentina. We are planning on exporting products around the world. The main product we're going to export is going to be oil, just pure CBD and THC full spectrum oil. We're going to ship it back in the barrel loads and let other manufacturers of oil products, edibles, tinctures, whoever needs the raw product, we're going to sell it to them and let them create their own products. That way we're going to allow it to spread around the world.
Well, and I'm glad that you correct me. Thank you very much. And that's what I meant. It's only for research purpose. Now, that being said, how are you guys dealing with the regulations and the legalities of another country? I'm still trying to wrap my, arms around this and see how the roadmap where you grow it there, but you can't sell it there, but yet you're going to produce it and bring it over to the United States. Please fill in all the blanks.
All right. We've been granted property in a free zone. So our cultivation facility is next to this free zone where our manufacturing is going to be. So we have our own country. We can operate in that free zone like our own country, import, export things in and out of that free zone without paying any taxes, just being like a duty-free store in an airport. So there's Canada, for example, right now has a shortage of marijuana. They're a fully legal country. They're getting their product from Jamaica, which is some of the worst flower out there in the market compared to places that we're going to be able to grow it at. So to kind of answer your question, is the government, with our partnership, being partners with the government, we're allowed to do things that we couldn't do if we didn't have that partnership.
Got it.
So, yeah.
I wanted go ahead, Mark.
No, I want to put things in perspective. We actually have 33,000 acres of land, and about 2/3 of it, about 24,000 acres, is usable for fields. The rest of it is usable for other types of things like creating nutrients, setting up greenhouses, other types of infrastructure. This project is 1,000 times larger than the largest legal farm, which is in Colorado, which is only 36 acres. Just to put things in perspective, we actually believe that we're going to be able to supply about 25% of the CBD and THC oil to the world out of this one facility, and revenues in the billions.
My guest today is Mark Bradley, CEO of Players Network. You can find him on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol PNTV. Very, very undervalued here at 8 cents a share. That's my personal opinion. And I wanted to ask you, last month or 2 months ago, I had Brett on the show. We talked about revenues, how they're exploding. What potential shareholder value can this deal bring?
Yeah, look, I wasn't kidding when I said revenues in the billions. We've been running projections on the Argentinian opportunity here, and we've taken conservative numbers, extremely conservative, and we're looking at maybe $300 million the first year, which is on a very small scale, and year two over $1 billion. I actually think we're going to be the company to beat in the marijuana cannabis space. You see all these other companies that are getting funding and some of these Canadian stocks that are way overvalued. We're way undervalued. And I have all the backup and the data and contracts to basically prove it out over the next couple of years. People are going to say, I got that stock when it was $1.
Right.
And we're only at 8 cents now.
For
that's what I think you're going to say.
For your investors and my listeners, can you bring us up to speed of what's going on with the Greenleaf Farms and maybe the Green Leaf Pure? We're running out of time, but if you could just give us a little bit of anecdote of what's going on.
Really quickly. So we have Greenleaf Farms in North Las Vegas, cultivation and production facility. We have 6 applications in for dispensaries in different parts of Nevada, and we're hoping, we'll know by December 5th, we're hoping to get 1 or more dispensaries, so we'll be vertically integrated. The CBD line is part of our branding and marketing. It's a natural extension to THC. And then we have our facility in California, which is a 56,000 square foot greenhouse. We're going to continue to take Nevada and California vertically and grow those markets. But I think besides that, we're going to focus in on other markets. You're going to see other markets than just JuJuy pop into our portfolio in the next year or so.
Players Network is the company that we're highlighting here today on Stock Day, ticker symbol PNTV. You can find them on the OTCQB. If you're looking for a diversified holding company operating in the marijuana and media business of marijuana, look no further than this company. In closing, Mark, what would you want my listeners to take away from this interview? They
really need to do their research on companies with fundamentals, and we have fundamentals in place, and we also have a new market, which no one else is in yet. And I believe the market that we're in South America is going to prove to outperform any other market in the world based on weather, location, everything I told you, workforce. So, I also welcome people to email us if they have any questions or call us. We go to our website, playersnetwork.com. You can sign up for our alerts, and you'll be hearing information first through that source.
You've been listening to the great Mark Bradley, CEO of Players Network. I hope that you guys keep doing what you're doing. I remember when you guys were trading at under a penny. You've been on my show off and on for over 2 years, and I think you guys are going to hit a home run here very, very soon. Thank you for your time, Mark. It's always a privilege to have you on my show.
All right. I appreciate your time, too, as well.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire, LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are those of the guests and those of the respective companies they represent, and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Uptick Newswire. Uptick Newswire encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of this program may have paid for its distribution and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Newswire or this station.